A friend of mine is a great manufacturer. As you know, China it's probably the greatest theft in the history of the United States, what China's done to us. They've taken our money, they've taken our jobs, they've taken everything. They've taken so much. And they're creating a bubble. And, interestingly, we're so intertwined now the bubble could take us down if it explodes, which at some point it might. And we got to be smart. I made so much money dealing with China. I made hundreds of millions, probably billions, dealing with China. The Bank of America building in San Francisco, I own a big chunk of that, which nobody knows. Nobody knows. All these guys come in Forbes. Oh, Trump's worth only $5 billion or $4 billion or whatever. He's only worth $5 billion. It's like a bankrupt magazine. It's telling us. They don't even know my numbers. They said, well, we haven't been able to look at about 400 of his companies. Oh, that's okay. So I filed, interestingly. They said he'll never run. He'll never run. So they say, oh, okay, I'll never run. They're telling me I'm never going to run. I'm saying that, but I'm running. But nobody believed. Then I announced. Then they said, oh, he'll never file his form whatever. That's a single page where basically you're signing your life away. And it has to be done within 14 days of the announcement. I signed my form. And they said, oh. Well, he'll never, ever put in his financials. And you have like 90 days or something. And they said, he'll ask for extensions, but he'll never show. Because he's probably not as rich as people think. But actually, I'm much richer. And I put in my financials. It's true. It's true. And Forbes and another group said, no, we don't know what all these companies are. I put in these massive financials. And I was so proud. I might have filed if I wasn't going to run. I wanted to show people. I wanted to brag. It's such a great company I built. So they said, he'll never put in his financials. I put in the financials, and everybody, they're much bigger, it's a much better, very little debt, tremendous value, and really great assets, iconic assets. Iconic, Doral, Turnberry in Scotland. I mean, I have some of the greatest real estate in the world. And I'm very proud of it. But they'd say, he'll never file. He'll never file. Then they see all these companies. And, they have boxes. And because it wasn't really meant for somebody like me. And they have these little boxes. They say, is it worth or does he make $1 million? Then from $1 million to 5, from 5 to 10, from 10 to 25. The last box is 50 million or more. 50 million or more. So, I have a lot of buildings that are worth much more than that. I have a lot of assets that are worth much. So it says 50 million or more. So I checked many of them. I don't know how many. I think it's 23 of them. Can you believe? Okay. So I checked I don't know. I think it's 23. I could be wrong. Oh, they'll kill me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure. But I think it's 23 boxes. 50 million or more. So you know what some of these guys do to try and always marginalize you? They added up 23 50s. Now, some of the 50s are worth $1 billion. Some of them are worth more than $1 billion. So it says 50 million or more. I go 50. So they'll take 50 million for a building that might be worth $1 billion, and honestly, much more. And they add them up, and they say, oh, well, he's worth 2.9 billion. This is the press. And they have no clue. Those statements aren't really meant for me, but it's not meant for a guy like me. But with all of that, the statements were so good. They're so good. And, one of the things I'm doing, and last night was incredible. We had an amazing event in Massachusetts. A guy, right? Oh, look at this. We have what the hell are you doing in Nashville? What are you doing? What is that? I must have brought those people with me. What are you doing here? This is like old home week. Anyway, so here I am. I spent millions of dollars during the course on jet fuel, okay? Like a lot of money, or jets. But somebody puts up a sign, $100 to go to this thing. I didn't know who did it, but somebody puts up a sign. So all over the place, I'm spending millions of dollars. I'm turning down millions. I don't want your money. I don't want your money. Somebody puts a sign up talking about a $100 contribution, of which you didn't have to make. But they put it up. It's all over CNN. Trump is asking for $100. I fly my plane someplace. It costs me a fortune. The fuel. The $100, the money that I raised last night, which doesn't go, it goes toward paying off the expense or something. The guy that had it's this great guy, Ernie, a great guy, really successful guy. You know him, right? Ernie. He'll sell you a car any day of the week, right? And, the guy like 2,000 people showed up. Let him get a little deferment of the roast beef or whatever the hell they're serving. So they put up a sign. I don't want the money. I might like 4 or 5 million. That's hard to turn down. But the $100 times, some people, and we let the vet say, we'll let this. Most of the people, I think, came in free. And I end up with this big story, Trump accepting contributions. I can't believe it. I got so angry at my people because somebody put up a sign saying $100. And honestly, it's like, first of all, it's peanuts. It doesn't mean anything. But they used it to try and marginalize. They always do. They always do. The bottom line is, I am self-funding my campaign. I'm self-funding. I don't want to have anybody give. I don't need money. Now, with that being said, the small money comes in, and it's not a lot of money, but it's great money. Like Beta might send me some money. Beta will send me some money. But a woman sent me $7 with a beautiful letter from Georgia. Another person sent me $12, and small money. And some sent me $1,000. But it doesn't amount to a lot. But that I do like coming in because they invest in the campaign. How do I take the $7 check, right, and send it back to the person who sent it to me from Georgia? Dear so-and-so, I'm sorry, I don't really want your money. How do you write a letter like I want them to invest in it. But, they're not going to tell me not to do this or not to do that for China because there are lobbyists for China, and they gave me $5 million. I had a big lobbyist ask me he wanted to give me $5 million for my campaign. I turned him down. And then I see this story on CNN last night. It was disgusting. That, look, there's a sign, $100. Somebody does a sign. It was actually a beautiful sign, if you want to know the truth. It was so beautiful. It was beautifully done. And they're doing this big thing about all day long last night about, I said, we had this incredible event, and they destroyed it by trying to marginalize. And that's the press. That's the media. Yeah, well, the criminal media. I mean, there's truth to it. No, because a lot of times they know it's wrong. But I just want to tell you, so important to me. And last night was such an incredible event. It had to be a record for a house. The guy has got a beautiful house, got a big lawn, put up a tent. But we had 2,000 people. It had to be a record. The spirit in that group, the spirit in Alabama, the spirit was so incredible. The spirit in our last meeting in Iowa. Don't forget, when I went to Iowa, and you know what I love? I'm leading with Tea Party. Big. I love Tea Party. I love the Tea Party. Tea Party people, stand up and take a bow. You have not been treated fairly. No, you haven't been treated fairly. You have not been treated fairly. People talk about the Tea Party, and you talk about marginalizing. At least I have a microphone where I can fight back. You people don't. The Tea Party people are incredible people. These are people that work hard, and they love the country, and then they get just beat up all the time by the media. It's disgusting. And you will be surprised how big you are. You don't know how big you are. You don't know the power that you have. I mean it. You don't know the power that you have. The Tea Party, and you could call it anything you want. I don't care about names. But the Tea Party has tremendous power. I talk silent majority, but the silent majority is more than Tea Party. It's Democrats. It's poor people. It's rich people. It's everybody. It's evangelicals. One of the things that made me so happy, I'm a Protestant, I'm a Presbyterian, right? Is that I had a recent poll, and they did a beautiful, these polls are great. Guys like Jeb Bush and Hillary, they hire pollsters. They pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars. What do you have to do that for? Every week they come out with a new poll, right? Hey, I'm rich. I could hire 100 polls. I don't want to waste money, Why should I pay? I know in one case the guys want like $150,000 a month. And then they're arrogant guys, they think they're hot stuff, and they tell the candidate what to say. You got to say this. Got to be politically correct. No way. I don't have time to be politically. No, it's true. It's true. I don't have time to be political. It takes a lot of time to be politically correct. You saw the anchor baby thing. Did you see that with where I'm on? And somebody from it's the same network, CNN again. He said, you know the name Anchor Baby is very insulting. I said, what would you call him? And he gave me like 9 words. A baby of a legal immigrant who was brought to the country to this. I said, how can I say that? It's too long. It's Anchor Baby. And then Bush, Jeb Bush gets caught because he is such a nice person, honest. If you want a nice person, honestly, you should vote for Jeb. The country's going to go to hell, but we won't talk about that. No, but if you want a nice person. So Jeb has a memo that he signed of basically a politically correct memo. You know, don't say this, don't say. They have all these things, pages of stuff. But one of the things, never use the term Anchor Baby. So all of a sudden, he's using the term Anchor Baby this last week. And with me, when I use it, nobody criticizes me. They expect me. They gave up. Okay. With him, they killed him. They just killed him. It didn't stop. And then he blamed it on the Asians. He said, you know, did you see that? And the New York Times did an editorial, how dare you attack the Asians? So he wanted to steer away from the Hispanics. He said, well, you know, the Asians come in, and they also have Anchor Babies. And now the Asians all hate him. It's true. But the Asians love me. And I love them. I love them.